Before the African delegation left for Russia and Ukraine, the research company Ipsos spoke to people across Africa to ask how they felt about the conflict. The company says that most people asked felt that Russia's invasion of Ukraine was a violation of international law. Mari Harris is the knowledge director at Ipsos. She joins us now. Marie, good afternoon to you. In terms of South Africans being asked this question, this is only, I think, the second public poll that I've seen on this question. How do South Africans feel about Russia's invasion of Ukraine?
Well, I can tell you that South African sympathies, the sympathies of the population, are a lot more lying with Ukraine than with Russia. What we did is to give people a number of statements. Some of the statements, as you will see, are favoring Russia. Some of them are favoring Ukraine. And then we can see how they responded to these. And right at the end of the interview, we asked people, what do they want their governments to do? Support Russia or support Ukraine? And I must say, about 3/4 of Africans in that sense sat on the fence. South Africans not so much as the rest of Africa, interestingly, but still favoring Ukraine. And then the very last question was, if you personally had a choice, which one of the two would you go for? Which one would you support, rather? And I think the big issue, especially for South Africans, was the fact that they saw the invasion of Ukraine as illegitimate, against the principles of the African Union and against the principles of international law.
There is an idea also, and I think many people in South Africa believe this, that Russia was pushed into this by NATO. The argument goes, as I understand it, that NATO got too close to Russia, was threatening Russia. Do a lot of people have sympathy for Russia from that viewpoint?
Well, we did not ask the question about NATO, but we asked for Russia. We said that Russia was not the aggressor in this war. That was the statement we used. And some people do agree with the standpoint of Russia in this, that they were not the aggressors. But interestingly, South African opinions are split right down the middle on this issue of whether Russia was the aggressor or not. I know that's one of the points especially stressed by President Putin, that Russia was pushed into this position. And then that all the other countries that were part of the Soviet Union before, some of the 15 republics that were part of the USSR, like, for instance, Belarus, Ukraine, the Baltic states, should not have joined NATO. Now, Ukraine hasn't done it. And Belarus, obviously, with the president put into power, basically, by Russia, did not do it as well. But the Baltic states are all three part of NATO.
Our government's official stance on this conflict is that we are non-aligned. Does that position have a lot of support?
Yes, it does. It does also have a lot of support from the other African countries. Very strong feelings. 56% of South Africans say that the African countries should not take sides in this war. And the only country feeling about this stronger than us is Kenya, with 66%, saying that we should not take sides. The reason for that, a lot of people say that Africa should be non-aligned, it should be neutral, and it should build relationships with both the East and the West. A lot of the African countries are very pro-trade relations with both the States and China, not necessarily with Russia, but they are very, very explicit about the fact that they think Africa should remain neutral.
Mari Harris, thank you, the knowledge director at the polling company Ipsos.